My mom secretly replaced my college fund with my sister's plastic surgery money, so I made sure everyone found out. I was 10 when my mom first started calling me the smart one. I didn't mind at first. In fact, I thought it meant I was special. While my sister Alyssa got compliments for her looks, I got praise for my grades. While she was being photographed in glittery costumes and taken to auditions, I was winning spelling bees, leading math club, and doing extra credit for fun. It felt like we were each on our own track. Hers was flashier, mine was slower, but supposedly more stable. And every time I aced a test or stayed home studying while Alyssa went out with her friends, Mom would smile and say, "Just remember, your college fund is safe. We're saving it for the right moment." That moment became my motivation. I didn't go to parties. I didn't travel or buy new clothes. I worked part-time at the library, then later at a diner, saving every penny while holding on to that promise. That one day, it would all be worth it. When I got into Stanford, I cried. I had worked for this every single day of my life, and I finally got in, with a partial scholarship and enough saved to make it work if Mom kept her promise. I rushed home, waving the letter in my hand like it was a golden ticket. Mom barely looked up from her phone. "Oh," she said, "that's great." No hug, no celebration, just a weird tightness in her voice that didn't sit right. But I told myself she was just overwhelmed, maybe even proud in her own quiet way. I gave her a few days, then sat her down with my financial paperwork to go over what I'd need to close the tuition gap. That's when she looked me dead in the eye and said, "There's been a change of plans." I didn't understand. "What do you mean?" I asked. "The fund," she said, not even flinching. "It's gone. It's been used." At first, I thought she meant something like stocks crashed or the bank messed up, but then she said it, casually, like she was discussing groceries. "Alyssa needed surgery. You know how hard she's been working on her modeling. It was time we supported her the way we've supported you." My stomach dropped. She used the money. My money. Years of saving, sacrificing, earning praise for being the responsible one. All gone. For a nose job, a jaw shave, porcelain veneers. Also, Alyssa could look more marketable. I sat there in silence, blinking at her. She didn't even look guilty. "You'll figure it out," she said. "You always do." And that's when I knew. I wasn't the smart one. I was just the fallback. But I'd prove them wrong. Not by begging, not by crying, but by showing them exactly what happens when the afterthought becomes the headline. I didn't sleep that night. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, every muscle in my body burning with rage and disbelief. I kept replaying her voice in my head, "You'll figure it out. You always do." Like this was some kind of compliment. Like robbing me of everything I'd worked for wasn't betrayal, just a course correction. The next morning, I avoided both of them. Alyssa was in the kitchen, freshly tanned and flipping through modeling portfolios like her face hadn't just been paid for with my future. I watched her sip her smoothie, smiling like she'd won some invisible prize. She didn't even try to hide it. She knew. That smug little glance she gave me said it all. To her, this was normal. Of course Mom would do this for her. She was the star, the favorite, the one who needed to look perfect. And I was just supposed to eat the loss and keep grinding. But I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I stayed quiet, calculating. That's what smart girls do. We observe, we plan, and then we act. I started gathering everything. Emails Mom had sent about the fund over the years, bank transfers, old printed statements she'd forgotten to lock away. She wasn't even careful. She'd pulled the money out slowly over time, each withdrawal labeled with things like medical Alyssa. Dozens of them. I screen captured every document. Then I found the invoices from the cosmetic clinic. Names, dates, procedures. They lined up perfectly with every missing chunk from the account. It was undeniable. Cold, clear theft masked as support. I didn't stop there. I found texts between Mom and Aunt Rachel where she bragged about Alyssa's transformation and how it was worth the cost. In one, she even joked, "She'll land a campaign before the smart one lands a dorm room." That one hit different. That one burned. But it also made my decision crystal clear. I wasn't going to confront them in the kitchen. I wasn't going to beg for justice. No, I was going to let the truth speak for itself. Loudly, publicly, and at the exact moment they least expected. They thought they could take everything from me and walk away smiling. But they forgot something. I had the receipts. And when I was done, the whole family would see exactly who they were protecting and who they betrayed. I waited until the weekend. My aunt was throwing her annual summer barbecue, a big family event that Alyssa always used as her personal runway. Everyone would be there. Cousins, grandparents, old neighbors, even a few distant relatives I hadn't seen in years. The perfect stage. Alyssa, of course, showed up like it was her coronation. Long curls, flawless makeup, a new dress that probably cost more than my laptop. She soaked in the compliments like she'd earned them. "You look amazing! You're glowing! Is that natural?" She'd laugh and toss her hair like modesty was beneath her. Mom was right behind her, beaming with fake humility, acting like her daughter's glow-up was just the result of good genes and clean eating. I stayed quiet, smiled politely, and waited. Because I wasn't there to argue. I was there to detonate. Once everyone had their plates and the music mellowed, I stood near the drink station and cleared my throat. "Hey, everyone," I said, raising my glass. "Can I make a quick toast?" Heads turned. A few people smiled, expecting some college announcement or sweet thank you speech. "Most of you know I got into Stanford," I began. A round of applause broke out, and Mom gave a performative nod like she deserved some of the credit. I smiled at her. But what most of you don't know is that I can't afford to go. Because the college fund my mom promised me since I was 10? It's gone. The smiles faded. Forks paused midair. "She used it," I continued, "to pay for Alyssa's cosmetic surgeries. Nose job, jaw contouring, veneers. Every penny. I have the receipts if anyone's curious." Gasps. Real ones. Alyssa went pale. Mom's wine glass trembled in her hand. I turned to them calmly. "And before you say I'm lying or exaggerating, check the bank statements. The clinic invoices, the texts to Aunt Rachel about how I'd be too busy crying over tuition to notice. I kept everything." I held up my phone, then set it on the table. Screen unlocked. No one moved. "I'm not saying this to cause drama," I said. "I'm saying this because I'm done pretending we're a family when loyalty is only given to one daughter. I was never the favorite. I was just the fallback. And now I'm done playing that role." The silence was brutal. My uncle looked furious. My grandmother's mouth hung open. Aunt Rachel stared at Mom like she didn't know her at all. Alyssa tried to speak, but nothing came out. And Mom? She looked like someone had pulled the rug out from under her perfectly curated life. That barbecue never recovered. People left early. Conversations stopped. And by the end of the night, Alyssa was hiding in the house, and Mom couldn't meet a single person's eyes. But me? I walked out with my head high, my chest lighter, and the truth finally aired out for the world to see. The fallout came faster than I expected. By Monday morning, the family group chat had exploded. My aunts were livid. My cousins were stunned. Even the ones who usually stayed out of drama were messaging me privately, saying they had no idea how deep the favoritism went. Aunt Rachel sent a long apology for ever laughing at Mom's texts. "I thought it was just her being sarcastic," she said. "I didn't realize she meant it." Grandma called and cried on the phone, asking how she could help, promising she'd talk to Mom, that she'd make things right. But it was already too late. The damage wasn't just financial. It was personal, deep, lifelong. Because this wasn't about the money anymore. This was about years of being overlooked, passed over, and expected to stay quiet while my sister was handed everything I had to earn. Alyssa tried to control the narrative. She posted some passive-aggressive story on Instagram about fake people trying to bring others down and how jealousy is a disease. But no one was buying it. Not after what I'd shown them. Not after I attached proof to every claim. One of her sponsors even dropped her a few days later. Apparently, lying about her natural beauty journey didn't sit well with their brand message. Meanwhile, my mom did what she always did. She played the victim. She told the family I'd twisted everything, that I was lashing out because I was overwhelmed. She even called me crying one night, begging me to take it all back before she lost her job. That part almost got me. Almost. But then I remembered the way she looked me in the eye and said, "You'll figure it out. Smart girls always do." Like her betrayal was supposed to be flattering. Like I should be grateful for the pressure. I told her I didn't owe her silence anymore, that the version of me who tolerated it was gone. And then I hung up. And with that, the guilt shifted. The weight that had been sitting on my shoulders for years, gone. Because I realized something powerful. I had spent so much of my life trying to earn love that came with terms and conditions. Be quiet, be understanding, be second, and I was done with all of it. They didn't break me. They freed me. And now I had nothing left to lose, except the lies they built their little perfect world on. And I was more than ready to let it all burn. The real revenge wasn't the public humiliation. It wasn't the texts, or the family fallout, or even the lost sponsorships. It was what came next, when I stopped chasing their approval and started building a life entirely without them. I deferred my admission by a year and picked up extra shifts, applied for independent student status, reached out to scholarships that didn't rely on parental income, and slowly, stubbornly, I built my way back up. Brick by brick. I got help from people who actually cared. Teachers, mentors, even some extended family who stepped in after seeing the truth. I didn't ask for pity. I asked for opportunity. And when I got my new acceptance letter, this time fully funded, I cried again. But it was different now. This wasn't relief. It was victory. Mom tried to reach out again a few months later, sent flowers, left voicemails. Alyssa posted a self-love video that practically begged for sympathy without ever saying my name. But I didn't respond. Not because I was bitter, because I was done. Done explaining myself. Done begging to be seen. Done pretending blood makes people family. It doesn't. Actions do, and theirs spoke louder than any apology ever could. On the day I finally moved into my dorm, I walked in with nothing flashy. Just 2 suitcases, a secondhand laptop, and a binder full of proof that I didn't need anyone's permission to succeed. I pinned a photo to the wall above my desk. It was from that barbecue. I'm standing there, mid-speech, holding up my phone with the receipts on the screen. My face is calm, steady, fierce. And every time I look at it, I remember, they tried to erase my future. Instead, they made me unstoppable. They wanted me to stay quiet, but I chose to speak. They thought I'd give up. I chose to rise. And now, I don't just have my future, I own it. No thanks to them. All thanks to me.